I want to say a very big shout out to C Square. Thank you so much for sending the link to this video. I appreciate you. Hey, sweeties, how are you doing? Welcome to Nanyacim. If this is your first time of coming across this channel, sweetheart, kindly smash the subscribe button, turn on the notification so you get notified each time I upload. And please give this video a thumb up. I appreciate you all, and I want to say a very big thank you to every one of you for always coming back to watch my videos. You all are the very best. So, sweeties, today we'll be checking out how Americans, use black children as alligator bait. Before, we get into this video, I wanted to know that before anyone tell you that it's been a long time all this happened, that it was probably our ancestors that experienced this, I wanted to know that children that did not know anything were harmed and involved. So when we say we will never forget, I want you to see why we are saying we will never forget, right? And before we get into this video is a little bit triggering. And if you have anxiety, I will recommend that you breathe in, out, before we get into the video. And I am going to say that this video is meant for educational purpose. It's not meant to bully or harass anybody. If you are ready, let's get into it.
This article was written June the 13th, 1908. No hyperbole, my blood began to boil reading this article. If you ever wonder if pure evil exists after hearing this article, you'll never wonder again. This article was posted in the Washington Times. It's titled, Bates Alligators with Pickaninnies. Zoo specimens coaxed to summer quarters by plump little Africans. Their greedy eyes eagerly fixed on two plump pickaninnies. The crocodiles and alligators in the New York Zoological Garden were decoyed from their winter quarters in the reptile house to the cool and shady tank just outside the building. It was a keeper's idea to bait the saurians with pickaninnies, knowing as he did their Epicurean fondness for the black man. So as two small colored children happened to drift through the reptile house among the throng of visitors, he pressed them into service. The two crocodiles and all but 40 to 25 alligators wobbled as quick as they could after the ebony mites, who darted around the tank just as the pursuing monsters fell with grunts of charging into the water, disappointed of their prey. I couldn't find any evidence that the zookeeper was charged, which we know he wasn't. I found multiple articles similar to this. The adjectives the journalist was using to describe these young black children in this article is sickening. He didn't show 1 ounce of empathy. Probably because he agreed with it. Man, oh man.
He said the baby, I said, well, what would the babies be doing? He said, well, my grandfather said they'd be screaming. He said, what would you do? He just let them scream. He said, what they would do, he would help them to chum the water. He said, when they would throw the babies in, tied to this rope, he said, in a matter of minutes, he said, the alligators were on them. He said the alligators would clamp his jaws on that child. As a matter of fact, once he clamped on him, he was really swallowed. You couldn't see anything but the rope. And we would pull the alligator in and tie his nose and hit him in the head with an axe, a pickaxe. He said we would then drag him to the shore. We'd drag him to the shore and leave him lay, and we would do it again, maybe 2 or 3 times a night. I said, so what do you mean? He said, well, yeah, they were taking these babies and killing them for alligator bait. I said, so all these things I've been collecting, are really, really something that I can really talk about and say they are the truth by what you say? He said,
Yeah. I really don't know how to react to this, really. Did it happen? It did happen. What did the innocent babies, what did they do? God. How did we get here? I mean, this is one of the saddest video I have, stories I've heard. I don't want to wrap my head around this. People's children, someone's child. All right, let's get into these teachings so you all can see what people got to say about this. Here we go.
So, right now, today, we're going to talk briefly about yet another hidden tragedy in Black America. Black babies being used as alligator bait. Yes. Now, if you were to, say, go on the internet and put that into the search engine, you're going to find a variety of things, because a lot of you are going to say, that's not true, that didn't happen. Or, of course, others of you will say, well, why are you bringing that up? Well, for one thing, it's history. And people who don't learn from history are doomed to repeat that history. You see, it came out about 20 years ago that this had happened, but it had been buried. Now, alligator hunting was very, very profitable in the 1800s and the 1900s. The skins were used to make shoes, bags, belts, etc. Okay? However, these white hunters often lost their arms and sometimes their lives as they wrestled in the swamp water for those big bull alligators. Now, what they decided to do was use the black slave babies as bait. So what they would do is they would sneak into the slave quarters and steal the babies while the mothers were asleep. Or maybe perhaps they went on an errand or went to the big house to tend to the master, and they had to leave the baby there. And they would hide in the bushes or hide wherever, and they would watch and they would wait. Then they would go and steal the baby from the mother. Anyway, what happened was, a lot of times, on occasions, they would skin that baby first before they used it as the alligator bait. So the hollering and crying baby would attract those big bull alligators that were very, very profitable. And of course, to them, worth far more than the life of the little black baby. Mostly, this was conducted mostly in the swamps of Louisiana and Florida throughout the South. It may make you sick beyond belief, but these are facts. They needed to lure the alligators with human flesh and blood. Now, a lot of these sick alligator hunting white men, they tied their necks with a string over the swamp and dangled them near the mouth of a hungry, like 700-pound alligator. Okay? And these black babies were sometimes put in a cage, and when the alligator came up, they were fed whole to them, and that way they would be able to catch hold of the alligator and wouldn't be able to get away. Now, a lot of this information can be found in the Jim Crow Museum, the racist Memorabilia in Michigan. That's one place where they have it. Also, the New York Times, the Miami Times, in a 2014 article supported this information because it was buried. And it's been well documented since then because a lot of people have went and they looked up the information. And what's interesting about that is that what they did after that is they would put these exports on postcards, yeah, and mail them across country. Pictures of little black babies. Of course, there were drawings and caricatures, but they made a joke out of it, and they mailed it around the country to their family and relatives. Pictures and stuff of little black babies being eaten or snuck up on or by alligators. And so all these postcards that you see from the memorabilia in museums and little collections, they are real. Okay, and then some advertisers even decided to use those pictures in their advertisements of other products such as licorice sticks, candy, and soap. All that. Now this is a part of history. A distasteful, horrible, nasty, unimaginable, inhumane part of American history. And lest we forget, we're doomed to repeat history.
Guys, I just found out something very terrible. I don't know if you guys know this or not. But apparently, did you guys know that they used to use black babies as crocodile baits? And this didn't happen too long ago. And guys, this is real. It's not like it's a joke. You can read this paragraph right here. And this is wild. This is the flyer, I guess the original flyer. But guys, could you imagine that people would pay to go see that? I'm never gonna say people, it's white people. I know some of you are not gonna like it, but it's true. The white people were doing that to black people, and that's terrible, man. When you really think of it, this is some of your ancestors. This is some of your grandparents, great-great-grandparents, and stuff like that. These people never saw us as humans. I'm glad if there is some good people, white people out there. And again, back to the gator bait. It's funny how when everything comes up about everyone else being enslaved, everyone else was being sold into slavery, how it never comes up about the babies. How no one talks about how many babies that was kidnapped, murdered, skinned alive, and used for gator bait, so they can make purses like Birkham's and Birkham's and what's the other one? Brom. They never talk about how their families was affected. And it's ironic how when you talk about reparations for African Americans or black folks or melanated people here in the United States, no one wants to acknowledge those things, as if the mental state of the race of people, we just keep going on as if we got everything in a bag. We don't. We far from it. But the government is doing away with mental health unless it affects the palm-colored people. The opioid, when it was a crack epidemic, was nothing being said. Lock them up. The moment that palm-colored people has a higher rate of overdosing, now we need to label as mental health issues, drug addiction programs. And yet and still, when you follow only black content creators, it's an issue for palm-colored people. Now, don't get me wrong, because I hate no one. Maybe except for Natasha Miles. She gets it coming, but that's not even why I'm here. But it is
ridiculous how many people in this world who thinks that it's okay to not even deal with just that one fact of all the babies that has been murdered in this society that we call America.
Guys, do you all know the truth? The truth is that they truly do not want anybody to know about this. You know, they are trying their possible best to hide it. They do not want you to know. That's why I keep saying they are not thought like, you don't hear this in history classes, right? Because they do not want you to know. But do you know the good part? The good part is that a lot of Black people are seriously studying history. And from nowhere, they are finding out the truth. And it's surfacing. And they are taking it up. All right? So, they never wanted to know about it. Yeah, but we are here to bring the ones we can. And I will never see something like this and not bring it here. Because you do need to know about it. The evil, the horrible things they did. And then when we talk about it, they say it's been a long time. Yo, it's been a long time. Did it happen? It did happen. Anyways, there are some things I am going to show you right now to let you all know that it was somehow not hidden. Because if they could make something like souvenirs and other things, flyers that were out there, it means it's something like, it's something they all knew among themselves. Yeah, they knew about it, right? But then, let me show you this so you all will get what I am saying, right? Here we go.
Letter opener. And the letter opener is an alligator, and the pencil that goes in the alligator's mouth has a Black baby's head on it. I also have pictures that were used as advertisements for stores or liquor stores. There were actual postcards that were circulated through the mailing system with alligators and babies. So you'll see ashtrays, you will see different kinds of items with alligators and babies.
So this is to let you all know that they really do know what they are doing or what they did. Because man, this is so hard to talk about. I mean, this is so hard to talk about. This is where I am going to draw the curtain because I am not even strong enough to continue. I am trying my possible best to, but then I cannot continue. Let me know what you all think in the comment section and see you all in my next video. Bye for now.